Good morning. Welcome again to Morning Devotions, and thank you again so much for our time together. I want us to go back and deal with an issue. Many young pastors come to me and they say, Pastor Sumrall, we don't know what to do. I say, what do you mean? Well, Pastor, everything was going fine. Nothing had changed in our church, and all of a sudden, everybody's complaining. And I said, what do you mean? Did you do anything different? No, everything is just what we've been doing. Just all of a sudden, it's like a spirit of criticism and complaining came into the house. I said, well, let's not blame demon spirits for everything. And I bring them back to the passage I want to read to you today. The source of dissatisfaction. Numbers chapter 11, beginning with verse 4. The rabble with them began to crave other food. And again, the Israelites started wailing and said, if only we had meat to eat. We remember the fish we ate in Egypt at no cost. Of course, you didn't pay for it. You were a slave. You had no freedom. Everything was given to you, but you were a slave at no cost. And also the cucumbers, melons, leeks, onions, and garlics. But now we have lost our appetite because we never see anything but this manna. Now, would you look at that? These people have been brought out of slavery. For the first time in their lives, they're not given everything in life. They're not given everything in life. They're not given everything in life. They have to grow up and begin to be responsible adults. They're no longer slaves. Now, God is providing for them. They have to go out and do a little work to get it. They have to go out and gather the manna. But they are eating supernatural food. Can you imagine? Supernatural food. And you have your freedom. And they're complaining. Now, where did this dissatisfaction come from? Notice in verse 4, the rabble with them began to crave other food. The rabble, not the people of Israel, the rabble. Now, the Hebrew word here refers to a foreign group, a mixed crowd, those who were really not part of Israel. Remember, when Israel left Egypt, it was a mixed multitude. There were other foreigners that left and came out with them that were not descendants of Abraham. Now, this mixed crowd, this rabble, they had desires that were not being fulfilled. Now, you have to ask yourself the question, when you're in leadership, where is this stuff coming from? And if you look around, you'll find it's coming from groups of people within the church that really don't belong. It's coming from people that really don't value the fact that they've been set free in Christ. And they have desires that, forgive me, are not necessarily Christian desires. It's the rabble. It's the people that really don't belong among you. That's where it comes from. So the complaining and the criticism starts. It spreads to the people in verses 4 and 5. In verses 14 to 7, it's what is called the burden of leadership. If you want to know what makes it hard for a leader, it's the that's the burden of leadership. Now, brothers and sisters, I challenge you today. When God is doing great things among your church, be very careful who you allow to influence you, because their desires may not necessarily be the desires that you and I are supposed to have. They are the desires of the rabble, the foreigners who don't belong.